Hi, I'm Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. We're doing another one of our tips and technique video. We go and do these little fun projects for you. Today I've got a stunning frame that I've done, and this was a 97-cent wood frame, left natural, that was just, you know, didn't look like anything, and we added all of this detail to it. So I want to show you how we're going to do that today. The first thing I did was I took my basic wood frame and I put a red acrylic paint on it. I added a little bit of water to make it easier to brush across. I came in and sponged it with metallic gold, metallic bronze, and a metallic purple. This really helps set the frame off, and I really like doing that process. I also took my little gourd, mini gourd toppers, and I figured out which one went inside the square, and I did them on all four of the sides, and you can see the middle's about right here, but I'm doing it a little bit wider. So I'm going to put the big one on, and then I'm going to put a smaller one in the middle, and I think this is 2 sizes down from that one that I just used, so that I could get my design on and have some room in between. If you had time and had some free time to let this dry, I probably would, after I sponged it, run a coat of just gloss or Krylon satin over the top of it, just so that these white lines were easier to remove. The colors I'm going to be using today are a little bit more different than I usually do. I usually try to stick in the 24 box, but I wanted the richness of this, so we're going to be using brown, and I'm going to be using gold, but this gold is actually called metallic Sunburst, and it's actually more gold colored looking than the gold, so I like that one a little bit better. And this is Robin's Egg Blue. You could use the turquoise color that we make all the time with 50% blue-green and 50% white, and that is found in the 24 box if you needed to do that. Of course, your gold is found in the starting at the 64 color crayons, but also in the metallic little boxes as well. So I am going to use, let's try the number 1 tool first, and we're going to come in here, and I always start at the center of my strokes, and I am just going to move it around. Now normally I would turn it all the way around and pull it towards me, but I'm going to cheat a little bit today, and we just keep dividing this off. And of course I suggest that you do this a little bit slower than I'm doing it, but that's okay. And we're going to do that one. And you can do these different if you want to do one with less. I think I did one with less strokes, and then I did one with more strokes on the sides to make it kind of a different pattern. You could do it with the squares. Anything you wanted to do, but this is just a fun, I think, really beautiful, elegant piece, and people won't know where you got it or how much it cost you. They'll just see the beauty of it. Now at this point in time, I would take my damp Q-tip and remove these little lines right here. I'm not going to go ahead and do the other 2 just for time restraints. And then if that doesn't take it all the way off, remove it with your rubber, or your gum eraser, and that'll finish getting those rest of those white lines off. Now I'm going to move up a tool size because we want more wax, and we're going to pull this in between these 2, and people always freak out when they do this for the first time because they don't think it's going to fit, but it does, because you're going right in between those. And that is, and I've got my melting pot a little bit too high. I tell you never to have it so it's flowing over onto the second level or it starts to drip. Now you get to see why. So I'll let those dry for a minute, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do the other one. This is what's really nice about these videos and why we don't edit them, is so you can see me mess up and you know what you can do to fix it if you're having the same problems. So that's why we don't like to edit these. We just like it to look like you stopped by in the studio and I'm just showing you a few tricks I've got up my sleeve. So we're just pulling these all the way till they run out or we get to the middle. And don't worry if you run out and you don't get to that middle. A lot of people freak about that. So we're going to come in here now with our hobby knife and we're going to remove this wax. See? That wasn't bad at all. Just going to take that right off. And we're going to put it right back on again. And we're walking these, and you can see you don't want to go too fast. You even want to go probably a little bit slower than what I'm doing it today. I get some people in class that just want to whip it on and we want to go a little bit slower, but it really is not complicated. And I always tell you to let these dry so it doesn't stain, and that I probably remove just a little bit faster than I normally would. Alright, we've got that sunburst going in there. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to walk the robin's egg out, and the only reason I'm stirring it's been sitting there a little bit, and I'm going to go just above the brown and I'm going to do a descending dot, and by descending dot you're running out of wax. And I probably would have removed that charcoal line before I did this step, just so you don't have it in your way once you're doing this, and it's easier to get it off then. Okay, I've got that nice sunburst. Now normally I don't tell you can go back over, but our first one was just a little bit smaller, and I think we can sneak that in there. Now we're going to come in, we're going to do the same thing. But look how fun. I like robin's egg. It's a little bit different than the turquoise I make. I don't know if it's got more green in it, but I really do think it's a real nice turquoise color. But look how it's really popping that design out. Okay, now the one other thing that I am going to do is I'm going to put a little fleur-de-lis up here, and I'm going to use my number 1 tool, the small end, and we're just going to put it right in the corner right there. And I want a turquoise dot. Now I say do the dots with the same tool that you did the strokes with. And then I would do that in all 4 corners. So now we're going to put our little design on, or embellishment. And this is a Sculpey little rubber mold. And you see a lot of different molds like this that are kind of corners, or this one would work really neat up on top if you just wanted to do this one up just to make the nice little frame. So I'm going to spray my hands with vegetable oil, and I'm going to wipe our scissors here, and we want just enough QuikWood to fill this up. We don't want to do any more than that, so let's see if this thing, I'm going to need just, well, let's start. We can always add more to it. Real important to pull your rings off when you're working with this, as well as that little, I'm not going to worry about getting anything in that little plastic piece. So many people, and I've done it before, will be working in a class and will say, what is wrong with this? And I know immediately that they didn't get that plastic out of there, and that plastic is in there. What activates QuikWood is kneading it together. So I already know that I'm going to need a little bit more of this. So we're going to knead that together. And when you can see it marbleized, you're not there yet. You need to get it all to one color. And I've been told that it kind of gets warm to the touch, almost like your skin temperature. Now I've already sprayed this with vegetable oil. That's really, really important because you don't want it sticking into the mold. And we want this, now the ends are really, really shallow. We want this where we actually don't have so much that's coming out the sides. So we want to take some of this off. We don't want it too full, just as full as the mold itself is. So it's right up to the top. And these sides are shallower, so they're a little bit tougher to do. So we kind of have to get them all in there. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to roll this on. And how I line this one up, I just take it and line it with the corners of this one. And I push down on my mold. If you have one that you can push on and get to it, otherwise you kind of want to roll it onto your piece if you're working with a gourd, because a gourd is more round than a flat piece of wood is. But see how that came off. And any part that you need to clean up, you can come in here and clean up. And just make sure that that's on there nice and tight. Now, if this should ever come off, you can glue this right back on with E6000. So that's a nice little thing to know in case a piece would come off on you. But we're just cleaning this up. Now you're not going to believe how easy this is just to color. This is so much fun. We're going to take our embossing powder or shimmer powder and always pounce it in the lid first. You don't want to go straight there because there's so much in there. And we're just going to... Now remember, this part is still wet, so you don't want to push on your brush very hard because you can push the wood in. And we don't have any other liquid doing this. This is just our embossing powder straight onto the QuikWood because it is wet. The QuikWood takes 20 to 25 minutes workable time. It's rock hard in an hour, and we do mean rock hard. But isn't that really, really cool? And then another little thing that I did with the other one is there's two little dots right here. So I just came in and put wax in those just to set that off. And I thought that was a really fun little feature. But just complete those on all four sides. Varnish it. Again, I just use the Krylons. You can use the triple thick on it. Just watch your humidity with the triple thick. And then put an embellishment in the middle. It not only cleans the circle up, it covers up everything it needs to, but it adds so much more to the design. And by pulling the turquoise color out in here, it really added to this. So go back and finish all four of the sides, add the four on, and I think you really, really love this. I think this is a really fun, nice gift for birthdays or to give a friend when they need that extra little pick-me-up. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions about this process, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com, or any of the products that we use today. Visit my website at miriamjoy.com. Also, there is a Facebook link. You can see a new different project that I'm working on every day at Miriam Joy Gourd Creations. And also check out the rest of the YouTube videos. We're always working on new ones for you to have fun and new fresh ideas with. So thank you for taking the time today. God bless.